Welcome back. So in the last episode, we explored that, I believe it's called a steel mill. We didn't get really anything from that building, unfortunately. I went on Discord to talk about that a bit. It seems that that's just a very old location that was never really finished, which would explain why we didn't really find anything. So after that, we just headed to Extract. We were running low on time. We are now officially over that timer, which we'll talk about here in a second. And we parked at Extract, and I told you I would gather my equipment off stream so you didn't, or off camera, so you didn't have to watch me sift through a bunch of stuff. And that's exactly what I did. So everyone, welcome back. I did pick things up off camera. I did have difficulty doing so. I didn't realize we were storing the AR-15 in our bag instead of wearing it, which was a bit of a problem. But let's just go through here and talk about what I have picked up. Yeah, I don't know what's in this alpha container. We talked about that previously. I thought I inserted warp shards into this, but it appears that that's was not, I guess it's true, but they weren't favorited, so I did favorite them now. Looks like we shoved some smoked meat and tomato in there. Whatever, that's fine. It's a little extra space to carry some stuff. Why, you know, like what's to complain about, basically. So the main things of note that we found in this expedition would be the ammunition and firearms that we found. So I did grab all of the pistols that we found previously. I switched our holster from the PX4 Storm pistol to the M9A1, and if we actually have a look at these, oh, it looks like it's not reloaded. We should probably reload so that we have bullets in our gun or rounds in our weapon here. So nice long reloading sound effect. I like that. Never heard that before. Might try to turn that up in editing, but we'll see how that shakes out. I think last episode I completely forgot to have the audio from the game, and I was just hoping no one would notice, but we'll see how that went when I check those comments. Yeah, so we switched pistols, and if we just have a look here, just because I'm sure someone will ask, like, why did you choose one pistol over the other? So on the left here we have the Storm pistol. This is what we were using previously, although I don't think we ever actually used it in the game. And on the right, we have that new Beretta M9A1, which we just found on that militia type zombie in the last episode. So if we look at their stats, they're actually very comparable. They are both 9mm handguns, so there's not like a whole lot of difference when like the bullet's the same size, so it's doing the same amount of damage. They both do 26 damage. Their barrel lengths are roughly the same, so it's not going to affect their damage really. What it comes down to is that the Storm has less dispersion, which is good, and the M9A1 has less effective recoil, which is good. And so it just became a question of what do we want more of here. And then the other major factor is that we actually have extra magazines for the M9A1, which we don't have for the Storm. The Storm uses a separate kind of magazine, and we only have the one. So it was a question of, do I want more dispersion or do I want more recoil? And I don't actually know the correct, like, objective choice here. I believe dispersion means your aim starts lower when you start aiming at something because it has worse dispersion, which means the accuracy is worse. Now recoil, I do know what recoil does. Basically, when you fire a shot, recoil reduces your current aim, and then you have to wait to get that aim back. So the worse the recoil is, the more your aim is reduced between rounds. And so I basically was like, well, do I care about initial aiming, which is really not a big deal because most of the time we're aiming at something that's multiple tiles away and we have plenty of time to balance and get that aim up? Or do I care more about losing aim between shots, which I think the recoil is the right choice here because most enemies take multiple shots, so you have to recover from your aim every single time you take another shot. I have no idea if that's the right choice. Someone let me know. I'm sure people know about dispersion a lot more than I do. I could be completely wrong on what that does. So that was ultimately why I chose to use the M9. The recoil is lower and we have more magazines for it. We can carry, 45 rounds of ammo very easily just in a couple of magazines in our pocket. And yeah, I just think that that's the better choice. So that's why I swapped them from our holster. We changed out those weapons. Everything else here is pretty self-explanatory. They're the things you would expect to find. Apparently I took a stun gun. That must have been in our inventory and I didn't think about it. I just grabbed a lot of random tools here. I don't believe we have a cordless drill, so that was a high priority for me. The laptops, we just had extra space at the end for things I didn't really like we didn't really need anything else, so I just grabbed a couple laptops. We brought the file set because I don't know if that's required for like making forge setup, so I thought that would be pretty valuable. We need those extra pair of binoculars for crafting, I believe, so we did grab the pair of binoculars. They're a very high value item. If we were to ever lose our actual binoculars, that would be very bad. This might not even be the extra set. That might be the only... No, that is the extra set. So it looks like these are pretty damaged. That would be bad if we had them destroyed because we were wearing them and they were being struck by enemies. Maybe we shouldn't be wearing those. I'm not sure. Yeah, so that was like the main thing. I wanted the cordless drill. I grabbed some drinks, some meat products. Obviously, I left behind a lot of the low value stuff that's like not as many calories, but these pork and meat sticks and all that stuff, they have a lot of calories. So we grabbed those. Grab some juices. I tried to stick with like juices and teas. I didn't really want to take soda back because I just don't I don't think soda's unhealthy per se in the game at this point. Actually, we probably can look. I know alcohol is, so if I look at a Pilsner, actually if we just go in the eat menu here and we go to European Pilsner, you'll see it has a minus to health, which is obviously not something we really want to be indulging in too frequently. Also, apparently, methamphetamine is very unhealthy. Who would have guessed that? I thought the famous documentary Breaking Bad taught me that it was a good way to earn money, but whatever, that's fine. So we did grab drugs. We are bringing that ballistic vest with us. I said about bringing the plates and the hard chest guard and the knee pads, so we're bringing all of that. Speaking of filthy clothing, someone did just leave me a comment about how I might want to make a well on the Sky Island for infinite water. That had never occurred to me. I think that's a fantastic idea. Thank you so much for that comment, because I think that's a really good idea. And I think that having water on the island so we don't have to constantly like go down just to grab like a tank full of water, I think that's a great idea. And admittedly, that doesn't come up every episode, but it would just be nice to have something like that. So that's a great idea. We needed the rollerblades for a craft. Obviously, we're taking the ID card. Really should just take those anytime you can. We picked up 200 solder. I grabbed the polycarbonate sheets because I thought, why not? I have all these materials and some space left over, so we might as well take them. Took the memory card. I believe we took a bunch of these. Yeah, we have 10 memory cards because they can contain stuff apparently, so we want to check those at some point. Platinum gas card we need for a craft. The only book we found that we didn't have before was Science of Revolutionary Warfare. No idea what this has. Maybe like a cannon is in there or something. I have no idea. Maybe hand-loaded rounds, black powder, weapons, something like that. And of course, we took the medicine. We did find some antibiotics in this expedition, as well as some antiseptic and then basic, like, drugs. Obviously, heroin, crack, methamphetamine, those are not things that we want to be using, but they exist if we need them. So if we ever were in severe pain and we don't have morphine or whatever, sadly, we can use a different opiate basically to try and treat that. Oh, my stomach's gurgling. I should have known better than to eat before recording. So with that, I think that's basically what we have here. That only took 10 minutes to explain. I guess that includes the intro, so that's not super terrible. Now, in my time picking things up, we did get the warp nausea. It says it started 2 hours ago, but I believe that's just when the expedition started. It's not the effect itself lasting for 2 hours with the penalties. But we're going to get out of here. That startled me while I was picking up and dropping things to see that it said, hey, like you're dying. Basically, if we actually, my list is going to be full of stuff. I won't see the message probably. Yeah, all this, unable to fit, and then we got the message. The whole world shimmers in front of your eyes. Everything feels slow and sticky. Warp sickness is setting in. You should focus on getting home. Warp pulse passing through you twists your blood inside your veins and your eyes pulse in pain. You've overstayed your welcome and need to get home. Obviously, we don't want to die here just because we were sifting through stuff, so I kind of try to pick up the pace. We are leaving things behind, mostly stuff I don't care about or that we have duplicates of. I guess we do have a little extra space here, so we might as well pick up some batteries. How much space do we have left? And we'll take the sandpaper, why not? Anyway, with that, we're going to head back to the Sky Island. Obviously, the daylight hours are good. We would want to continue. Actually, someone said about how you should quick save every time before you try to go back to the island, because sometimes it borks out, and obviously it would be terrible if we broke the game somehow. So let's head back. You returned home safely using a designated exit point. You've earned 50 material tokens for your success. So we are back. We failed the mission, killed kill 5 unzombified mammals this expedition. That's fine. We didn't really expect to be able to do that. I think initially we thought we could, but the reality is that the animals are just hard to hit and all that kind of stuff. So let's unload our materials. We no longer need the storm favorited, so that is the incorrect button. So we will remove that from our favorites just so we can drop that in the future without any real hassle. We'll use category select here. Let's okay, let's keep 2 magazines on us and we'll drop the remaining magazine. We're going to drop all the Stanag mags. Obviously, we don't need those when we're just using a handgun at the moment. I also don't think I'm going to take the loose ammunition anymore. It's a little too easy to drop that by mistake or have that fall out of your backpack or something like that. And we obviously don't want to lose ammo. It's like the most precious resource that we have at the moment. And then everything else pretty much we're going to drop. I don't think I need any of this stuff on me, so we'll just drop all of that. Is there anything in medications that we want to favorite to keep on our person at all times? Some stimulant, antiseptic, saline? No, none of that really. Obviously we could take antiseptic with us, but the reality is currently our expeditions are so short that if we got a deep bite wound, we would have plenty of time to get back to base and basically clean that up back at base. Not to mention that there's like alcohol wipes and all that stuff that we could find while looting as well. So I don't think antiseptic, it's worth it to carry. Actually, it's only 0.2 liters and like 0.2 kilograms. Well, you know what? We're going to favorite some antiseptic just to keep that on our person. Just for emergencies. I don't know. So we'll keep that. We'll drop all the batteries, of course. We will drop the platinum gas card. We don't want to lose that somewhere as well. We're going to keep, we're going to favorite material tokens. I believe we already have a pile of them somewhere. Drop everything else. Drop all the materials. Matchbook, industrial. Yeah, we don't need any of the armor or anything at the moment. Okay, so, and the reason the well was mentioned is because we have all this clothing that we would like to take apart for like scrap material so that we can raise our tailoring skill. So we're going to be using a lot of water to cleanse things, and we don't really have a big tank of water on our base. It's really not a lot of fun to go down on an expedition just to get a tank of water and come back. That seems pretty terrible. So yeah, I think the well is a good idea. They did say it requires a fabrication. So I don't know if we talked about this. They actually changed the crafting or the construction menu recently. This is part of a overarching like addition to the game called, actually, what's it called? IMGUI. So like GUI as in graphics user interface, whatever that stands for. And it's like a library that lets us redo some stuff. Like I think some menus have changed, like at the key, no, not that menu. This menu here, we can see a clear difference from how it used to display. And while I'm not a fan of the appearance, I kind of like just the old, just black background menus. I don't really like the blue coloration and all that kind of stuff, but that doesn't really matter. But as they convert to this new library and they change menus and stuff, the game's gonna look a little bit different. And one of the things that was affected here, whether it was intentional or not, I'm not really sure, is the construction menu. You see it no longer takes up the entirety of the screen. And I guess the purpose of this is so that when you go to craft something, you can actually see your surrounding tiles without having to close that menu or select it. Like once we select it, it would pop back to the main screen. But this at least gives you an idea of like where you're standing and stuff like that. So I assume that's why that exists. So let's have a look at wells here. Build a water well. Requires survival 4, fabrication 4. Requires a pit, a tool with digging 2, 40 rocks, 4 planks, seat belts or whatever, cordage or nails. We can get nails very easily. That would be the smart play there. And then that's a covered well. Unless you had some mechanism for drawing it up to the surface, you won't be able to get any water. So that's literally just digging the well. That's not actually creating a water source. In order to create a water source, we would then need to have a water pump as well added, which would be mechanics 2, which again, we don't have mechanics 2. And then we want to, how do we scroll in this? Left to tab. No, that's the wrong thing. Do we hit the down? There we go. Okay, so stage 2 water pump requires a mechanical pump. We can take that from an engine by taking it apart. We might even have one around the base. 6 pipes, a little annoying to transport. And then we have the wooden well at the bottom. What is the difference? A deep well collecting groundwater. Installed pump lets you draw water from the surface, or to the surface. Draw water from it is the answer there. A deep well collecting groundwater. Wooden frame with a rope and bucket allows you to draw water from it with some elbow grease. So that's variant number 3. But it requires the covered well, which is the base level. So once we build, okay, so again, the menu here doesn't look super great and it can be a little confusing. But basically, these are not stages. So it doesn't go, oh, you have to create the covered well, then you have to create the water pump, then you have to create the wooden well. It's not like that. What it's saying is we have to create the first stage, which is the covered well. And then once we do that, we can either build a water pump using a pump that we harvest and using our mechanic skills, or we can move forward and create the wooden well, which instead of using that mechanical pump, we'll actually use a bucket instead and just a rope, and we will harvest that water ourselves. So that would be the easier option. It contains the same skill requirements as the initial well. So once we create the well, we'll be able to make this one. And then all we would need is a bucket. We can make a bucket if we had to, cordage and some sticks. That is the much easier option over us going down and trying to harvest an engine and all that kind of stuff. And functionally, I don't think it makes a difference if it's a mechanical well or not. I think drawing the water will probably take about the same amount of time, and even if it doesn't, who cares? It's not a big deal. So, yeah, a little stun locked. Let's have a look at this statue, because since I last played, there have been updates to the game that have added new potential rooms. So if we pop down here real quick, just to have a look, you'll see this is the cross-shaped thing, and all of the upgrades previously were about this central room, which we've sort of made our crafting hub at the moment. We're still sleeping down here, I think. But so this is our crafting hub, and really that was the extent of what was available. The mod creator has been a bit absent lately, so they haven't been working on the mod. They did this previously. I guess they made the Backrooms mod as well previously, and they basically made that cool mod and then disappeared for a while. Then they came back and they made this cool mod, and whatever. If they're on hiatus or whatever, that's totally fine. But so all of their upgrades were based around this central room, and nothing really happened with the spokes of this cross. Well, a recent PR from, I think, Standing Storm expanded the possible upgrades. So now you can actually make rooms on the eastern and western portion, at least. I'm not sure about the northern section here, but or expanding this tiny entrance room, I'm not really sure about. And I believe they also made a change so that the skylights update differently. So once we construct another construction, I think it's going to change the size of this skylight as well, which will be interesting. So let's talk to the statue and see if there are upgrades for us in the future. You can see this conversation menu is also slightly different from how it used to appear, or maybe my eyes are just busted because it looks different to me. The shading looks slightly different. Am I crazy, internet? Okay, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so we're gonna look for, let's just check everything. Do we have anything to empower the warp obelisk? We don't. Do we have anything to upgrade expeditions? We don't. Construction options? Yes. So we now have the option for a western, eastern, and northern room, as well as expanding that skylight, like I just said. I didn't know that was a separate craft, but we should take all of these, of course. Just heard something in my bedroom. Hate that. We did get a mouse the other day. Our cat caught a mouse, and we kept it outside in a box and until we decided what to do with it. So there might be a mouse in here somewhere, I guess. Anyway, construct the western room. What does this require? Now that so it is different. So we can see here the pop-up is colored differently than it was previously. So this is in fact using that new image library or GUI library, like I said. Now that you have corridors snaking beneath your island, you could build rooms in various areas. The western quadrant might be a good place for another room. I have no idea. How do people read? How do voice actors sound genuine, like they are genuinely interested but also having a deep voice, like they're acting while they're doing a voice? I don't know how people do that. I just come across like someone trying to pretend they're a narrator. I don't know. The western quadrant might be a good place for another room. A new recipe has been learned. Craft this artifact to permanently upgrade the island. It's a new structure, West Room 1, a hollow chamber to the west of the island's center to serve as a multi-purpose space with tons of room to expand. So I believe that's the same language used for the central room, so it's possible they might just follow the exact same upgrade path. I actually thought it would be like, okay, well this one will be like locker storage and this one will be, you know, a kitchen or whatever, but I guess it's better to allow the player to craft those things manually and set them up how they want. So probably this makes sense. I assume the documentation here is exactly the same. So this one is just for the eastern room, this one is just for the northern room, center room with a long window to look down on the world. Oh, that's interesting. So it's like a floor for Skylight. I should have read what the, well, you can pause the video, I guess, if I missed one. Then we've got the central Skylight. Now that you have a bunker on the under the island, you have a place to live, but the small glass roof doesn't let in a lot of light. I cannot read. A larger Skylight would be ideal. A new recipe has been learned. Craft this artifact to permanently upgrade the island. Central Skylight to a larger Skylight over the main room. All right, so let's have a look at those recipes as well. Do you have any, can you heal me? Am I injured? Is it still free? Heals you at no charge. Will be free until you survived 8 expeditions. Well, how many expedition stats? So we've been on 9 expeditions, so the next one we're going to lose that ability to heal, I guess. That's okay. And then we still never upgraded the expeditions themselves. I know just in a previous episode I was complaining about, like, well, how are we going to do this with only 2-hour expeditions? And someone was like, well, you remember you can go on longer expeditions, right? But it requires you to unlock something, which I haven't unlocked yet, and I'm not even sure which thing it is. Yeah, like none of these even upgrades actually make the longer expeditions. So here we have the basement one, we have the multiple exit one, we have the central Skylight one, we have the landing one, which I don't even know what that does. Miner's Cameo, these are the building ones. Order's Blade, this is also this is 2 missions per expedition. This improves our scouting ability, and this one increases our stability, which I think is the one that lets me stay out a little bit longer past expedition timer. Like once we start to get that negative penalty, I think it means we can stay out longer without dying from that penalty. And it doesn't actually explain, actually it says it can only be used, oh no, that's just saying you can only upgrade that once. Yeah, that makes sense. And of course we have none of this stuff. We have a little bit of antibiotics, but we don't have antifungals, antiparasitics. I think we have like 2 marijuana. We have like 1 amplifier circuit. I'm not sure if we have a rural digest examiner, the rural juror. So yeah, I don't think any of this is going to be craftable for us in the near future. We could build the Skylight. That would be a pretty easy one. Gathering planks, as we discussed, not that hard. We have a bunch on the island. Glass shards, obviously very easy to obtain in mass. Chunks of rubber, we would get these from tires, would be the easiest place to harvest chunks of rubber. You can get them other places, but since this is actually a PR I made, I don't know if I ever talked about that, but previously tires broke apart into just steel, and that didn't make sense, so I went through and added chunks of rubber and rubber strips and stuff to tires when they're broken. So if you break a tire now, you get rubber, so that would be the easiest place to get that. Super glue is a little hard to come by. I'm not sure if we have any. It is craftable. I just don't know how to craft it. Actually, I think the recipe changed, so it's more of a chemistry recipe now, and we're probably not going to make that. And then we need a lot of cordage. Let's look for super glue. I'm sure I don't have the recipe. That's okay. All right, so it's 11 a.m. Let's sort our loot, and then I think we will do a little bit of skill training, and we might just stay in for the rest of the day. It is only day 4. I'm always talking about like, oh, we should be looting as much as possible. Bro, it's day 4. Like, we have plenty of time before the zombies get out of hand. We already have the dory, which is a pretty good like mid-ground, like mid-game weapon anyway. If anything, we would go on an expedition just looking to grab a fridge or a freezer or something like that at this point. And remember, the last expedition was supposed to be about finding food because we were running short on perishable food. And I thought it would be nice to go down and grab some like meat or just random foods. Okay, so at this point we know we want to raise fabrication to create a well. We want to raise our survival skill to create a well, and we want to raise our electronic skill for something, although I don't remember what it was now. I think for did we need that to install a freezer or something like that? We need mechanics so that we can take off vehicle parts from vehicles when we're down there. In the last expedition, we saw a mini freezer, which would have been an incredible thing to bring back with us. And of course, we could not do that because we didn't have the skills to do that. And we also need our, what was the other skill that we needed? We were just talking about, and I don't remember what it was now. Tailoring. Well, we need tailoring because we want to make a spear strap so that we can sling our spear instead of having that constantly taking up our hands when we want to carry big things back. I just realized I forgot to drop the AR-15, so we will drop that. Anything else? Did I put anything else on just for like poops and giggles that I don't need? We don't need a nape protector. It's not really doing anything for us. I think it's like 1 point of protection. Yeah, this one's cotton, so it's going to be less than 1 point of protection, so that's not super relevant, so we'll drop that. Not sure why I'm wearing a dusk mask, but we'll leave that. dust mask. We'll leave that. Okay, so where to start? Let's just pick a skill, basically. We're near the brazier. We have daylight for quite a few hours. So let's, and in fact, didn't we put a lamp in here or something? Yeah, we have an electric lantern plugged directly into our power source. How is our power doing? Plus 222 watts. Is that accurate, or is that, I'm sorry, internet, I know I'm walking back and forth and not accomplishing anything. So that is accurate. We're not drawing anywhere near the amount of power that we are harvesting even just from that one solar panel. Obviously we want more solar panels in the future as well. Batteries are not charging. Why are you not charging? You are charging. Okay, great. So we're getting 222 with the recharger and the lamp on. That's pretty, why is that so high? I thought these produced like 80 watts. Like, why are they producing 222 from one? Am I misreading this? Okay, it doesn't matter. Just stop. You just gotta accomplish something in this episode. Let's go down and craft. So let's see what we can craft. Do we have anything that we could craft for tailoring that would raise our tailoring skill? Our tailoring 0? I thought we raised that to level 1. Well, then we would just read a book. You have nothing to read. Okay. Because we definitely have some books that would raise our skill and make that craft raising a lot faster. Is that what we were doing previously? We were reading So Awesome Monthly because it has such a fast read time. Well, let's take that up to level 1. That should only take a moment here because we did do that partially. Oh, I didn't even look at my focus is pretty good. 52 focus is not bad at all. So we will drop, oh, first of all, turn off our flashlight that's been on this whole time. Then we will drop the book that we were just reading. So we'll drop So Awesome Monthly. And then, oh, the sun has gone down. Why? It's only noon. Oh, that was the flashlight that was illuminating all of that area? I thought that was because of the skylight. Okay. So we've read to tailoring level 1. Now we want to grab our MP3 player so that we can manage our focus while we do this. Didn't we have like a fully charged MP3? We do. It's in our inventory. So we'll activate the MP3 player just to keep our focus up while we craft raise a little bit. So at this point, we've raised our theoretical tailoring skill to level 1. So now let's craft something to get our actual practical skill to level 1. That's fabrication. What are you doing? Tailoring. And just in case you don't know this, in the search menu, if you type P : followed by like a skill name, it will show you in order of skill level anything that's craftable with that as the primary skill, so we can quickly raise our tailoring specifically by finding a recipe in that list. So that's what we're searching for here. We can make a chaplet. What is a chaplet? That's a chewing gum, if I'm not mistaken. A wreath headdress made from plant material woven into a ring. Okay. I'm sure that's probably not how you pronounce that, and I'm just an idiot. So, net backpack. I did see this recently when I was doing something with backpacks. It's literally just a net that you've sort of woven into a backpack, which I think is an interesting idea. Safety glasses, these require plastic bottles, and maybe we can craft that. Not sure why they require tailoring. It's just plastic bottles being cut into pieces and then strung together. Not really a tailoring thing. Straw sandals, we have piles of straw. I'm not sure where we got those or why we would have those. Ropes and cordage, yeah, we can make ropes and cordage. I don't know if this actually raises your skill level, so we could convert like all those short strings into long strings basically if we go to ropes and cordage. No, we're looking for, oh, can we not? We can convert plant fiber into short strings. Well, what about long strings? I thought we could make those from short strings. You can. I don't have any short string. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, we could craft some of these to get a little bit of a skill boost without actually costing us any materials. And there's nothing here that I actually think is valuable. What we can do is make a pair of safety glasses, because I'm not sure if we have one, and they are some amount of protection. So if we ever lost our glasses, we would be able to do that. So this is not going to take us to skill level. Takes 3. Wait a minute. Wait, just hold on a second. Let me look at this again, because this is ridiculous. In order to make a pair of safety glasses, what we're doing here, we're taking the cutting skill of a quality of 2 or more. We're taking a single plastic bottle, we are cutting it up into like lens-shaped plastic, and then we're tying a string to it. And that takes you 3 hours and 15 minutes. Really? That is what you made this recipe. You made this recipe of cutting a bottle in half and putting a string through it take 3 hours and 15 minutes. And we have an 18% chance of catastrophic failure, which is completely ridiculous given how easy of a craft this is. And it makes plastic working proficiency. This is not working with plastic. You are cutting a bottle open. This is not you melting and shaping plastic, whatever. So we're not crafting this. This is ridiculous. I might look at this off camera and see why this is so messed up. Okay, well, there goes that. Let's pop up into tailoring here. I guess we could make a short rope out of long strings. They're such an easily obtainable thing, and then we could take apart the rope again for the strings to disassemble it. Does take 2 hours and 26 minutes, but I imagine we'll get to tailoring level 1 from this. Okay, and we'll stop because we immediately got tailoring level 1. Oh, but I can't take this apart unless we finish the craft, so we would have to commit another like 2 hours to making this just to get our strings back. You know what? Not really super worried about it. Are you flammable? We're going to toss you in our brazier here and just get rid of that in progress short rope. Whatever, we lost like 6 strings, not a big deal. And then we will pivot back to reading some more. This time we will read the higher tier tailoring book because the other one is useless now. So unfortunately, these chapters take a lot longer than the other books. So it means it takes a longer period of time to actually raise our skill level, I believe is what that means. So we will, actually, let's read Revolutionary Warfare to get an idea of what's in there. Soldering iron, portable soldering iron, EMP bomb, homemade grenades, explosive barrel bombs. Looks like a lot of bombs, including a coil gun. Not sure why the auto sear plate and coil gun and things like that are in a Revolutionary War book, but whatever. That's, you know, somebody added it, I guess. So let's grab So What clothing, and we will pause here. We'll move into the light, and we never made a chair. I'll add that to the list of things I want to make, because if we rest in a chair when we're reading, we lose more weariness and things like that, so we might as well. But for now, you can stand. Sorry, bro. So we'll read the sewing book for a bit. All this episode, we're not going to accomplish very much. We're already basically at time, but I'm going to keep going a little bit because the episode has not turned out to be much of anything. Oh, man. Yeah, so I don't know if tailoring is necessarily the correct choice here. We're getting warm from, I mean, it's not like we're hot, but our body's getting moist with sweat, which is not ideal. They did add, actually, I don't know if it's on this. There was an addition, I'm not sure if it's on this update. Rennick added the ability to quickly swap outfits. So if I look for outfit, no. Clothing, no. And basically it lets you make a preset outfit so that you can swap in and out of it if you want to. So like in this situation, we're at base, right? We don't need all of our armor. We don't need all of our clothes on, or maybe we're going to bed. We want to remove all of our clothes, that sort of thing for roleplay reasons. Because currently that doesn't have a penalty in the game, although it probably will in the future. So it would let us at a single key press swap our clothing so that we could do that. So that would take care of our heat problems right now with a single press of a button, as opposed to going in, taking off every individual piece of clothing, being more likely to forget, oh, I took off that one, sock or whatever. So I guess that's not on this update, unfortunately. We're getting warm. We're going to get damp with sweat. I don't think it matters, so we're just going to keep reading here, and that's how we'll finish out this episode. We'll just read. Looks like we're peckish. We're a bit hungry. I know we haven't been eating very much. We probably should eat something. I just want to get to this theoretical skill level of 2, hopefully here. Listen to pumping bass. Your leg is getting warm. Come on. There we go. Theoretical level 2. Should be relatively easy to pop that up to level 2 practical skill as well. And if I recall, we need level 3 for the spear strap. Spear, oh no, we're looking for, wasn't it? It's not called a spear strap. We looked it up. Strap, book strap, sling. 2-point sling? No, that's not it. That's for weapons. I don't even remember. Maybe we don't have the recipe. Single point sling, of course, because, that 2-point versus 1-point is a huge tactical advantage. I have no idea. Okay. Our focus held up surprisingly well during all of that. We are thirsty. We are hungry. Let's eat and drink before we end the episode here. So that's our drink pile. Where's our food pile? That's our extra water. I don't remember where anything in the base is because I have not been playing very much. So this is our food pile. Let's see what we've got that's old. Pepper jack beef entree. God, that sounds really good. It's only 140 calories. It is old. It's -1 joy. Why? Why would it be minus joy? That sounds delicious. Radiation, safe to eat, better while hot. So it's not heated up. We would have to heat it up. If exposed to the atmosphere, it will start to go bad. So I'm wondering if we heat it up, do we get more calories? Because it's like uncooked. I guess it is cooked. It's just not warm, so we would just get more morale out of it. I mean, whatever, let's do the role play. Let's start a fire and heat up our food here. start a fire, and we will grab our, there should be a pot here somewhere, pot or pan. How's everybody doing? I'm sorry, we didn't get very much done here in this episode, although I feel that way every episode. So we want to activate our pot. Activate pot. What is this? Heat menu. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know this existed. So you can heat up multiple items at once now. I really like that, actually. So we're looking for entree, and we're looking for the pepper jack beef entree. So we'll select that. So you can heat up multiple things, and it adjusts not only is it restricted by the size of the container you're using, but it also displays an estimated time to heat those up. I love that. Whoever did this, I genuinely like this so much. What a good idea that was. I would have never even thought of this as being something we would want. I love that it displays all that information. This is a good change. Whoever did this, I'm proud of you. Good job. You made our lives better. So let's heat up our little entree here and check its joy now. Nope, still a -1 joy. Why? Is that, am I looking at the wrong thing? It's not even hot. Did the fire go out? It did not. You heated your items. Okay, activate the pot. Pot. Look for the entree. Yeah, no, it's not heated up. Let's try again. You heated your items. You put the pot on the fire. It is now hot. Okay, so it took 2 attempts to heat it up. Still -1 joy. Why? It says it tastes better while hot, which is supposed to modify the morale. It looks old. It's on the brink of becoming inedible. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not good food. Just because something gets old, that doesn't mean it's not bad yet. If it was bad, it would be rotten and all that. Well, that was a waste of time. Let's eat that entree. We'll have a cracklin'. Why not, for a bigger amount of calories there? And really, I just want to avoid eating all of our meat products. Why don't we eat something with vitamins? Looks like we're good on everything but calcium. That's more of a drink situation than a food situation. So we'll eat some crackers just for some extra calories, and then we will pop down. Do we have any like milk product that would give us calcium? I don't see anything. Maybe some V8 has some like added calcium. It does not. No, nothing with calcium. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's have a sip of herbal tea, and then let's just have something with a little calories in it. So we'll drink some cranberry juice. Let's make sure we drink from the same one here and don't accidentally open multiple bottles. Have a little shot of mustard. No, I'm kidding. In fact, why is the cranberry juice also a -1 to joy? I quite like cranberry juice. Is that just meant to be like, oh, a lot of people don't like this drink? Or why is that? I don't understand that. Am I sick or something that's affecting my taste buds? Doesn't look like it. That's odd. We are soaked in sweat at this point because we've started a fire. So let's extinguish that fire. And let's just call the episode here. We didn't get much done. We didn't do a lot of banter. Maybe in the next episode, internet. You can hear my creaky chair. Does that make it worth it? Does that improve the quality of the... Okay. Everyone, thank you for watching. In the next episode, we will hopefully accomplish a little bit more, and I'll ramble a little bit less, but some of you like me rambling, so that's, I guess, acceptable. For now, everyone, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I, of course, will be back in the near future with more content, and I'll see you next time.